All right, well, let's go ahead and actually get started. So thank you every single one of you for joining, right, for taking the time out of, I know, your busy, busy days to actually come talk to us about, what you're about to embark on over the next 5 weeks here at Modern Guild. So again, welcome. My name is Ambreen Syed. You've probably gotten some emails from me or my team, and I am the Director of Student Life here at Modern Guild. And again, very glad to have you guys join us. So I want to start by first welcoming you to the Modern Guild community. You're about to embark on an incredibly rewarding journey that will help you discover yourself, your true passions, and how to align those to your college preparation and career goals coming up. Now, simply put, Modern Guild is a self-exploration and life skill building online mentoring program that is really personalized to you to help you prepare for college and beyond. Now, Modern Guild is a network of successful industry experts and thought leaders and mentors with mission to guide students to reach their full potential. Hey, I think someone is probably not on mute. Let's go right back on mute so that we don't get the extra disturbance. Thanks so much. So like I was mentioning, through the sort of one-on-one live coaching from trained coaches and also real-world professionals who help you focus on your interests, your strengths, as well as weaknesses, and really help you chart out your college and career path exploration, we really are on a mission to help students like yourselves jumpstart in that way their life after school. And now, along with that, I want to make sure that I not only welcome you guys to the Modern Guild community, but also congratulate each and every one of you. Each of you should be really proud of yourselves. And why is that? Because you guys are today taking a very, very crucial step towards your future. And you've decided to do that on your own when it comes to college and career preparation, and you've taken that sort of step in your own hands. So that in itself makes you really, really stand out. Hey guys, once again, let's make sure we're on mute so that we don't get the extra disturbance. Thanks so much. Now, all that being said, know that this is still just the very beginning of your journeys here, right? You have a lot to learn and a lot to do, and I can promise you that no matter how ready you may think you already are, you still have a lot left, right? And so with that, know statistics like 50% of college graduates today either are under or unemployed, and we're obviously, been given the opportunity that, to help change that, and for you to take advantage of hopefully not being that statistic, right? So definitely use this opportunity well and use it wisely. And then, of course, your dedication and preparation for our program will really be the key to your success, right? So yes, you guys are super busy. You guys have school and academics and extracurriculars and personal lives, which are extremely important. But for the next 5 weeks, your focus and commitment to doing well in our program will be really, very crucial and very rewarding for you. So the program is here to really offer you the help you need. And again, all of this will happen and come together if, of course, you also are doing your part fully and diligently in the program. But all that said, most importantly, enjoy the program, get a lot out of it, enjoy your sessions one-on-one with all the coaches and the professionals you meet, and hope you're really looking forward to engaging with us over the next few weeks. Now, with that, again, if anybody has any questions right off the bat, feel free to ask and get off mute and do so. Otherwise, we're going to go right in to the program structure to tell you a little bit more about what exactly to expect over the next 5 weeks. So here's a little chart, probably a lot of information for you to read, so I will go over it sort of high level with you, and then you can, of course, take a look at this after the call, over the weekend, into next week to get a little bit better idea and understanding of what the next 5 weeks is like in detail. But first and foremost, right, we are looking at the next 5 weeks, right, one of which you have already sort of scheduled your meeting for with your coach, have hopefully gone into your online account and explored a bit, and have hopefully even started on some of those assignments that you would have to complete prior to your meeting next week. Right? So, with that, of course, the pre-program setup, you guys were able to give in your pre-course surveys and schedule those meetings, attend today's orientation, and get all that out of the way, which is great this past week. With that, what it means is that next week, we're looking at really the building blocks of your program. right? So things like really building rapport with your coach, helping really baseline who you are, your preparedness for college, for beyond, your interest levels, all of that will sort of be charted out, and you get to have a very very open discussion with your coach on that. And also some of these sort of pre-work assignments will help you clarify that going into that first meeting. That first meeting will also involve a little bit more of sort of logistics and level setting, just in case you still have questions about what's the real best way to do assignments, or what does your coach prefer and what are your preferences, right? You can talk about all of that during your first meeting, including discussing all your future meeting times. So just keep that in mind about meeting one. The second week, so the second meeting you have with your coach will really then be about laying the foundations, right, of this college preparation and career path making. So with that, you'll sort of start to align a little bit of who you are, right? Align accomplishments and strengths. You'll start to build a little bit of your own story. Things like these will actually be very, very important when you're looking at even, talking about yourself to a college admissions officer in the near future, or writing about yourself in a college application essay. So all very relevant, and you'll start laying the foundations of that. With that, again, there will be assignments that help on that front, things like interviewing tips, things like assessing your skills, your pathway interests, right, across all the different careers and industries, college paths out there. Then week 3 is really about building presentation, right? Who you really are, but conveying that. So building that personal brand, as we call it, and the uniqueness of really who you are. And that will be a little bit of sort of role playing in how you connect who you are with who others are, right? How do you network with them, talk to them? Again, skills that are applicable in the near future for all of you, and definitely as you go into your freshman year of college and are trying to do that first student organization, or looking at your first campus job, or even your first internship. And with that, we now start to sort of equip you with a little bit more of a, let's say, toolkit, professionalism toolkit. That's going to include basis of resume and cover letter, industry expert networking prep, right? And that's a good segue. What does that mean, industry expert networking prep? That actually brings you to week 4, which from, an abundance of our past students we've heard is, probably the most exciting part of the program. So definitely be excited about building up to it, because that's when you guys have the opportunity to go in and select from our vast network of, at this point, over 200, 300 industry experts, all working, right, in over 11 different industries, different jobs, whether it's Google or Goldman Sachs, or something really innovative at LinkedIn, or in marketing, in the public sphere, in HR, what have you. And all of those interests of yours can sort of be looked at further as you go have those conversations with those professionals. And all of them are really going to be available, per their availability, for you to connect with, over not only understanding their backgrounds, where they come from, but also doing a little bit of practice in, how do you speak with this adult, this professional, and convey who you are and what you'd like to know. With that, of course, there's going to be a preparation, right? We're not just going to let you loose, but your coach will really be involved in getting you prepared for those conversations, whether it's pre-work for that conversation, whether it's actually executing that conversation, or even follow up after that. And finally is what we call the polish, or final week, right? Where everything comes together, hopefully for you, and sort of what you plan to do over the next few months, next year, right, couple years, as you go through high school and into college. And there will be a lot more sort of action planning and level setting, right? Some of you may be very sure about what your next step should be, but really need a little bit more refinement in exactly how do you write down what those goals are and how do you achieve them over the next few years. And others of you may just be, sort of all over the place, where you really want to have a plan but don't know where to start. And this part of the program will really help you get there. Now, with that, that concludes sort of an overarching summary of the next 5 weeks that you will, be encountering. And of course, the structure, right, to a little bit more from a logistical point of view, is going to be around meetings and assignments, right? And when we say assignments, right, yes, there's things like boring homework out there, but really our program is about you. So every single assignment per se, or exercise, is really about you digging into yourself, right? So hopefully should be introspective, should be fun, and don't let it bog you down, right? This program is really about what works most for you. So if there's an assignment out there that just doesn't make sense and you rather do something else or rather discuss it during your meeting and have, discuss that idea in the past with your coach, more than happy to customize and personalize to how you work best, right? So don't be bogged down, raise your concerns, talk to your coach, and we'll make sure the program is to exactly the direction you want to take it. So I'm happy to pause here again for a few seconds to see if any of you have questions just on this part. Next, what we're going to do is actually go through and show you a little bit of what your online account and working through it is like, so you get a taste of what all you'll be using over the next 5 weeks. But again, feel free to get off mute if you have any questions at this point. We'll, of course, do questions at the end as well. Okay, so looks like no questions at this point. So we will go right into the online demo. So hopefully you guys can see my screen right now. And what I'm doing is going to my browser to show you what it would be like to, whether say it's time for me to log in and do some of my meeting one assignments, what that experience is like. And let me walk you through a couple different things that you'll see in your online account that you should be aware of. So the first thing, of course, you would do is go to modernguild.com and click login, big orange button, can't miss it. And in here, we're going to put, you guys all should hopefully have access to your username and password. Your coach should have sent you that a little while ago. Again, if anyone doesn't, definitely let me know either on this call, after this call, and we'll make sure we get you all set up. So we're going to actually be logging in as a past X student. And this is our mock student for our conversation today. So username, password, I put that in and hit login. And this is the same account in a couple seconds that you will all see on your end as well as you guys log in. So first you see that when you do log in, you land on this page here. And this page we refer to as the dashboard. So ever you see that in an email or in instructions, right, this is what we're referring to. This is your central page in the ModernGuild account. So obviously in here, right in the center there, you see upcoming meetings. So we've got clearly those 4 meetings lined up for Jack Brown with his coach, Robert Smith. He also has a special meeting. Most of you guys don't have to worry about that special meeting, right? An intro meeting. The equivalent of that was actually the interaction you guys already had probably over email with your coaches and right here with orientation. So no need to worry about that. And then also there's the meetings at the bottom of that list with industry experts, right? So there you see myself and Breen as an industry expert, Anna as another industry expert that this student Jack is connected with. So right here, you see the exploration tab. The exploration tab is where all your exercises live, right? All these assignments over the next few weeks. Now you'll see here the colored buttons show you different states of these assignments. So for example, if I went into, let's say, your resume assignment, right, and I clicked on it, here you see your resume assignment, you have actions to sort of take, and then once you finish your assignment, you're going to click submit form. At the bottom of this assignment, many times your coach actually writes feedback. And when they write feedback after you submit form, you're actually able to see their comments down here, right? And that's actually a good sort of pre-work just to take a look at those right before you go into your meeting so that you can be level set with what your coach had told you about. And then obviously that's what triggers, the different status changes. So for example, if you submit your assignment, it's going to show as complete right here. If your coach has given feedback, it's going to show as review. That's going to alert you to actually go ahead and review that assignment, so on and so forth. So it should be all pretty straightforward. And of course, available means you have not yet started or completed that assignment. A couple things to just know about assignments, by the way. You've heard this maybe a couple times, maybe from your coaches, but something big on our program is to really try to complete these assignments 48 hours, 2 days before your meeting, right? The reason for that is because we want to give ample time to your coach to actually review this and give you good, solid feedback. Again, you have the luxury of taking the entire week to do your assignments, right? So whether you choose to do them on weekends or mornings versus evenings, right? You can split them up over the course of the week. So it's not like you're required to do something every day. But by the time it's 48 hours before your meeting, you should be pretty ready to go for that meeting. So that's something I want to emphasize. Now, after you complete these assignments, again, remember to hit submit, otherwise your information won't be saved. And the way you know that you hit submit is when your assignment turns to complete. Finally, this is just sort of a tech issue note for any of you guys, who come across any sort of issue. Always remember that we're optimized for Google Chrome. So use the Google Chrome browser, right? Sometimes other browsers may have issues, but we've always seen this one works best. And if you ever feel issues with, inputting data or submitting your assignments or whatnot, definitely just let us know, right? Don't sort of bog yourself over it. We'll make sure we get the issue fixed so that you can sort of move on seamlessly. But definitely raise any sort of tech issues to us. Otherwise, you should be fully set to go, like I said, with Google Chrome, or even restarting your computer, right? Sometimes some of the simplest things end up working. Again, we don't anticipate any of this, but more of an FYI. Now, what I'm about to click into is the network page, and our network page is where those industry experts reside that I talked to you about. So here you see consulting and finance and education, government, health, law, marketing, etc., right? A lot of very interesting areas with a lot of really awesome people who work in those areas and have full-time jobs that take out time to actually have one-on-one conversations with you during week 4. So we will be giving you more information about how to schedule with them and who's available, and all of this will be dependent on the industry preferences you guys indicated. So look out for that over the next couple of weeks. But this is just to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what that world of industry experts is like. Like I said, we will be reaching out about scheduling and whatnot, so no need to worry about it yet. Remember that your career coach scheduling works directly with your career coach, so that's something you and your coach will do together. For industry expert meeting scheduling, we, the ModernGuild team, will be reaching out to you directly. So just sort of keep that difference in mind. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard and show you guys where your meetings actually reside. So say it's time for Career Coach Meeting 1, and I would go ahead and then click Enter Meeting at the time of my meeting. Now, once I click Enter Meeting, what I see here is a couple instructions that guide me through it. These instructions won't change. It'll be the same for every single meeting. The core of the instructions really are having you actually make sure that you have a Gmail account, right? That's something we asked for in your pre-course survey. So super important that you have an account that ends in @gmail.com. I believe most of you did, but say you guys have school emails that are Google powered. They unfortunately have some restrictions with Google Hangout, which is our video tool, which is why we highly recommend you have an @gmail.com email that you use for this and you provide to us so that we can give your coach and your industry expert. So again, in terms of instructions, your simple directions are to have a Gmail account and be in your Gmail account at the time of your meeting. What will happen at that time then, as you're waiting in Gmail, is that the other person, whether it's the coach or the industry expert, will be placing a Google Hangout call to you. And that call will come as a notification right in your email inbox, right? So you'll see it, you'll click on it, and really shouldn't be any more than that. Now, of course, with any video technology or any tech sort of item out there, right? There's always troubleshooting and issues that happen from time to time, which is why we've put together a set of meeting instructions. So make sure you guys definitely read those instructions. Your coach may have already sent that to you in advance, but definitely look at that in advance because there's some Google Hangout setup and settings changes you all have to do in order to make sure that you are able to receive those Google Hangout notifications from your coach and your industry expert. So again, very important that you guys do this in advance. Another thing to sort of keep in mind, right, as let's call it rule of thumb, is to keep your phone on you, right, during these times. And it sounds pretty obvious, but we've had a lot of students who sort of wait and Google and realize, wait, my coach could never connect with me. What happened, right? So all coaches and all your industry experts are told if within 5 minutes there's some issue you haven't picked up or something's going on their end or yours, the simplest rule of thumb is to be on your phone so that they can call you and then discuss over phone what's a good alternative, right? So some of our coaches have a special video link they can send you, which you can use to have your meeting. Some folks prefer Skype, depending on if you have it, FaceTime even, right? There's a bunch of video options. I know you guys all use them, right? So it's just a matter of you and your expert or your coach connecting, discussing a new alternative for video, and just moving forward with the meeting, right? So none of this sort of issues and troubleshooting bog you guys down. So keep that in mind. And so with that, it kind of concludes our little tour of the online account. Couple things to just, sort of keep in mind about the account, right? Most of your meetings have surveys at the end. Again, surveys are really boring for a lot of people, including me, and I hate taking them many times as well. But these kind of surveys are really to gauge you and your performance, your progress, and your issues, right? So think of these not as just when we're asking you to just fill some fields out, but those really help us week after week to get you guys better prepared to cater the program way better to you, depending on your needs and adjusting to any issues you may have, right? With scheduling, with video, with your coach, whatever it might be. So, take those seriously, try to fill them out. And of course, there's going to be a post-course survey at the end that will be really valuable as well. So I just wanted to sort of give a shout out to our surveys because, I want to make sure that you guys do take a look at them. And of course, next steps on your end will be if you haven't already done so, upload a picture of yourself so your coach can sort of get a little bit familiar with you before they actually meet you over video. And most importantly, get started on your meeting one assignments, right? These are all going to be needed by your coach prior to the meeting so that the coach can actually go in, do some review. And like I said, that 48-hour period is key. So I'm going to take another quick pause here to ask any of you guys if there are any questions on just this portion of going through your account. If anyone's had any trouble, definitely let me know. All right, moving on then. Let's just go into sort of the summary of everything we just chatted about. So first and foremost, right, there's always going to be some housekeeping items, and a lot of the sort of, rationale, right, behind it is around making sure that you guys are able to complete, everything on time, but also so that you guys are able to stay engaged and be progressive throughout the program, right? We don't want you falling behind, and we definitely don't want you in sort of a confused state when it's a week or 2 or 3 into the program and you're still really not getting much out of it. That we want to avoid. So if you follow some of these sort of, instructions and housekeeping items, definitely will be sort of to your benefit. So again, to reemphasize a couple of those things, right? 48 hours before your meeting, let's have assignments complete. The CC review modules, like I showed you in the online demo, are actually at the end of each assignment, right? That's where your coach gives you a review. And the coach may not always give you a review, but assignments where you want review, you can definitely ask your coach, or your coach will say, okay, for this particular one, I may be providing some feedback type of things. It's not required, but it may be in there. And of course, use Google Chrome. And if there are any tech issues, try to do the basics like using Chrome or restarting. Otherwise, let us know and we'll get it fixed. With meetings, again, like I mentioned, the career coach meeting and the industry expert meeting, both are going to be meetings you have access to. The career coach meeting, of course, will be coordinated between you and your coach, specifically meetings 2 through 4 during your upcoming meeting, so that you'll get a chance to discuss and get some times in the books. We always recommend trying to have a meeting in the same day and same time. It's just easier to remember. So that's just a recommendation we give you. And your dashboards, by the way, as of a few hours ago, should actually be reflecting your meeting one time. And we've gone ahead and sort of booked in time for meeting 2 through 4. But again, you will get to edit that, modify that if you want during your next meeting with your coach. Finally, Google Hangouts, we went over that. Gmail, super important. Keep your phone on you, right? Your coach will just call you, and then you guys can troubleshoot from there and go on with your meeting. And of course, that Google Hangout PDF, also known as the meeting instructions, right? Make sure you take a look at those. And so last, but definitely not least, you all should know that, you will really be held to the standards that you would find any college holding you to and any really professional setting holding you to, right? So that's the same at ModernGuild. We really hold our students, or as we call them, proteges, to a really high standard and require you guys to adhere to what we call the protege pledge when you enroll in the ModernGuild program. So a few key tenets of this pledge include dedicating about 30 to 60 minutes a week. Again, you can spread that out throughout the week as you like on that pre-work for each of your meetings, like those assignments. Completing those assignments 48 hours before your meeting. If you're a no-show to a meeting, do know that you do risk actually losing that meeting completely, right? Because rescheduling we try our best, but it's not the easiest. And speaking of rescheduling, right, know that we do highly discourage any more than one reschedule, and that also has to be done greater than 48 hours in advance. But again, we get it. Things come up. Just as long as you guys can tell us, as far in advance as possible, and try not to be disrespectful of your coach's time, I think we'll be able to sort of work out to whatever you really need, right? But bottom line there being, obviously, if there are any issues at all, you and your coach can work on it, and they are very, very flexible and more than happy to change around as you need per the things coming up on your end, all your meetings and whatnot. And on our end, we will do the same with your industry expert meetings. Then again, one thing to note about industry experts is that they are professionals, they have full-time jobs, right? So it's going to be harder, definitely, to try to reschedule with those folks. But long story short here, we'll do our best as long as you do yours. Now, always try to conduct meetings in a quiet location with strong internet. Obviously, everything is online, and video meetings do require strong internet, so keep that in mind. And just one last sort of note is be prompt when it comes to responding to us through email, right? Actions we need you to take. We rely heavily on emailing you at your preferred email address. So definitely sort of be on top of that. And if there's any reason that you may not be connected or active, or you're going to be delayed in getting back to us on something or the other, whether it's the Modern Guild team, whether it's directly your coach, right? Just let us know. Keep us informed, and we'll be happy to work with you. So now finally I want to just pause and give you guys all a chance to ask me any questions at all, right? Hopefully, you guys have a good sense now of what the Modern is all about. This meeting was really about getting a lot of the logistical stuff out of the way so that you guys don't have to worry about that. You guys know what you have to do, and you can actually start diving into each of those personalized career coach meetings and those personalized assignments. So with that, any of you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. Also, if anybody has had any trouble with their online account, any issues, feel free to share with the group here so that we can all be aware. And if everyone's super comfortable and knows sort of the answers to any questions they might have had, great. You are more than happy to drop off, right? And if you think of questions later, feel free to email us back. But I will, of course, be on for the next few minutes if any of you guys think of any questions to ask. Otherwise, feel free to drop off. I'm really, really happy to have each of you in our program. Really, excited to have you guys go through that experience. I'm very, very confident it will be rewarding for you. So thank you again for your time, and hopefully you're looking forward to meeting with your coach next week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.